Hello everyone, this is Shelja Kamar, Assistant Professor in IT Department at EKGEC. So today's topic of TOEFL subject is Chomsky hierarchy. Now what is Chomsky hierarchy? I will cover the following aspects in this topic. First I will introduce, then I will discuss what are the different types of grammar according to Chomsky hierarchy, and their further explanation how are they described, what are the various restrictions on each grammar. So who has given this Chomsky hierarchy? As the name suggests, it is given by the researcher Noam Chomsky. He is also an American linguistic philosopher, scientist and social activist. He given the Chomsky hierarchy of grammars in 1956. First of all, we should know what is a grammar. So grammar is like four tuples. It is having four tuples, that is V, T, P, S, where V is variables or non-terminals, T is terminals, P is production rules, and S is start symbol. Now the non-terminals are symbolized by capital letters, terminals are symbolized by small letters, and these are the production rules. This is the example, these are all production rules. Now the start symbol here is this, from where the grammar has been started. This is start symbol. A and B are terminals, all the capital letters are terminals, and all the small letters are non-terminals. Sorry, all the small letters are terminals and capital A, capital B are non-terminals, or you can say variables. And these 1, 2, 3, these rules are production rule. So this is a basic definition of grammar. And Chomsky has described the grammar in four ways. He has divided the grammar in four types. The first one is type 0 grammar, type 1, type 2, and then type 3. Now what is type 0 grammar? Basically Chomsky has divided all these grammar on the basis of restriction, and the type 0 grammar has no restriction. That is why it is also known as unrestricted grammar, and the language generated by this unrestricted grammar is recursively enumerable language. And the machine which recognizes the language generated by this unrestricted grammar is Turing machine, and it is the most powerful machine. Now why we have used the most powerful machine to recognize the unrestricted grammar, the language generated by unrestricted grammar? Because the language is very simple, there is no restrictions, and the language generated by the unrestricted grammar is very complex, and to identify or recognize a complex language we need a powerful machine, and that's why we have used here Turing machine. And for type 1 grammar is also known as context sensitive grammar, it is also known as length contracted grammar, and the language generated by this grammar is context sensitive language. And the machine which is required to accept the language generated by this grammar is linear bounded automata, also known as LBA. Linear bounded automata accept the language generated by this type 1 grammar, and type 1 grammar is also known as context sensitive grammar, and the language generated is context sensitive language. Third type grammar is type 2 grammar. Type 2 grammar is context free grammar, and the language generated by this type 2 grammar is context free language, and the machine required to accept this language is push down automata or PDA, and it has more restriction as compared to type 1. Type 0 has the least restriction or no restriction. Type 1 has some restriction as compared to type 0, and type 2 has more restriction as compared to type 1 and type 0. Now the type 3 is the most restricted grammar, and type 3 is also known as regular grammar, and the language generated by regular grammar is regular language. So the grammar is very complex, the language generated is very simple, and the machine required to accept the regular language is finite automata. Now we will describe what are the various restrictions applied on these grammars and how to identify if the grammar is given whether it is type 1, type 2, type 3 or type 0. So for type 0 grammar, it is also known as unrestricted grammar, recursively enumerable grammar, or phase structured grammar. It has three names. That is, unrestricted grammar already have written, recursively enumerable grammar, and phrase structured grammar. And the language generated by this type 0 grammar is recursively enumerable language. Generally, it contains all the formal languages. All the formal languages are under this unrestricted grammar, and the language generated by this grammar is recognized by Turing machine, most powerful machine. Grammar is very simple. Language generated is very complex, and to accept the complex language, we need a powerful machine, which is Turing machine. So, type 0 grammars are too general to describe the syntax of programming language or nature languages. And the grammar has rules of the form alpha goes to beta, where alpha belongs to T union V closer, then a variable or non-terminal, then again T union V closer. Now, what this means alpha is on left hand side. So, at left hand side there is any combination of variable or terminal, but at least one variable must be there. Only then we can have any rule or production. Otherwise, on left side, on right side, there can be any combination of variable or terminal. And on right hand side, beta belongs to T union V closer. Means on right hand there is no restriction. You can have null value or you can have any combination of terminal or variable. For example, here is AB goes to capital A. Now here AB are this belongs to this variable. These are both non-terminal values or belongs to variable. And on right hand side again you can have variable or non-terminal. So this is acceptable, and this is a type of 0 grammar. Another second is capital A capital B goes to small a capital B. So here we have two variables or non-terminals, and on right hand side we have one non-terminal value. Capital B is non-terminal and small a is terminal value. So it is belongs to terminal union V. It can also have like A, B, or you can say capital A, small a, how so much is. And S goes to null value, it is also acceptable here because beta goes to T union V closer, and if we put the closer is equal to 0 in place of star, if we put is equal to 0, then we get a null value. So S goes to null is also a type 0 grammar. Second is type 1 grammar. Now type 0 grammar has no restrictions at all, but type 1 grammar has a one restriction, and type 1 grammar is also known as context sensitive grammar. Or length contracting grammar. Now, why it is known as long length contracting grammar? It is because in the productions rule there is a restriction on length on both sides, left hand side as well as right hand side. There is a restriction on the length. That's why it is known as length contracting grammar. Further, I will again discuss why it is known as this grammar. First, I will tell you what type of language generated by type 1 grammar. Type 1 grammar generate the constant sensitive language, and the constant sensitive language is accepted by a machine known as linear bounded automata. It is also known as length increasing grammar and non-contracting grammar, as I previously told. And the language described by these grammars are exactly all the languages that can be recognized by linear bounded automata. Okay, this machine is less powerful as compared to Turing machine, and the language generated, context sensitive language generated, it is some less complex as compared to the recursively enumerable language. So how to identify such grammars? So the rules given are in the form alpha, capital A, beta goes to some gamma, with the restriction that the length of left hand side should be less than equal to length of right hand side. That's why it is known as length increasing grammar or non-contracted grammar. Non-contracted grammar. Now the alpha beta belongs to combination of terminal and variable. It can have any number of terminal and variable, or you can have a single variable, single terminal, or none. In the right hand side, left hand side, you can have one variable at least, not null. You can have at least one variable on the left hand side. And on right hand side, gamma belongs to T union V positive closure. Now why we have a positive closure here? Because according to the rule previously discussed, the length of left hand side should be less than equal to right hand side. If some values are here, means we at least need a variable on the left hand side, and positive closure, if there is a star clean closure, then we can also get a null value here, which is not acceptable. So we have taken positive closure here. At least we have at least one variable or one terminal on right hand side. So the value here does not belongs to null, or the length and corresponding the length should be at least equal to 1 here, because the length of left hand side is at least 1. So we have also make it like at least length should be 1, so that this rule length of alpha A beta should be less than equal to gamma can be obtained. So here are some example of this type 1 grammar: small a, capital A, small b. So these two are terminal value and this is non-terminal, or you can say variable. And here three small values which are these are terminal value, and A is variable, and the length of right hand side is 4 and length of left hand side is 3. So all the rules are satisfactory. So this grammar belong to type 1 grammar. And here small a, capital A, combination of terminal and non-terminal goes to combination of terminal and non-terminal. So these both are belongs to the justified things, and the length of right hand side is 3 and the length of left hand side is 2. Now 2 is less than 3, that is why it is also acceptable grammar. Now check the third one. Here small a, capital A, small b, it is a combination of terminal union variable, and here only terminals. Okay, it is acceptable. But when we talking about the length of right hand side is 2 and the length of left hand side is 3. So it is not less than equal to the right hand side part. So this grammar does not belong to the type 1 grammar. Next is type 2 grammar. It is also known as context free grammar, and the language generated by this grammar is context free language, and this language is accepted by push down automata. The machine required to accept such languages push down automata, and these languages are the theoretical basis for the syntax of most programming languages, and these are defined by the rule alpha goes to beta, and here restriction is on the non-terminal, not restriction on the non-terminal but restriction on the left hand side, which is alpha, that it should be at least 1. We have at least one variable on this side. Second, beta is this right hand side beta is a string of terminal and non-terminal, and there will be no context on the left and right of the non-terminal. That is, That's why it is known as context-free grammar due to this. And beta is combination of T union V whole closure. So restriction is this: the left hand side should have at least one variable, or you can say one terminal. So example here are capital A goes to BCD. Here all terminal, non-terminal, yeah, and on right hand side there is also non-terminal. But we will check on this restriction. The left hand side should be exactly having one variable or non-terminal. So this is acceptable. Second is capital A goes to small a, capital B, capital C. Now small a is variable, so this is achieving this condition. And on right hand side it is a combination of terminal and non-terminal, that is also acceptable. So this is type 2 grammar. And while checking third one, here on left hand side it is small a, which is a variable, not a variable but a terminal. This is a terminal, and we required at least one terminal here because length of alpha is at least 1 and it is on non-terminal. So this is not a type 2 grammar. And the last one is type 3 grammar. It has most restriction, and the language generated by this grammar is the most simple. So the machine required to accept these languages are finite automata, which is also very simple or have less complexity. And this type 3 grammar is also known as regular grammar, and the language generated is known as regular languages. And these regular languages are commonly used to define search patterns of programming languages. Now this type 3 grammar is further classified into two types: left linear grammar and right linear grammar. So how can we identify whether it is a right linear or left linear? So if we have a repetition of non-terminals or variable on right hand side, means this is a right hand side. Further, we have a repetition of variables or non-terminals on the right hand side of non-terminal value. These are non-terminal, or you can say variable, and this is terminal. So the repetition of non-terminal or variable are on the right side of a terminal value, or you can have also a single terminal value, then it is known as right linear due to this repetition of variables on the right hand side of the terminal. And if we have a repetition of non-terminals on the left side of a terminal, then it is known as left linear. This is a terminal value and this is non-terminal, and there is a repetition of non-terminals on the left side, and it can have any non-terminals. So it is known as left linear, where AB belongs to V. V is variables. These A and B are variables, and the small x belongs to terminal. It can have any terminals on the left hand side, and in left hand side there should be only one non-terminal. It has two restrictions. First restriction carry forward from the type 2 grammar, means on the left hand side there should be only one non-terminal, and the second is that depending upon the repetition of non-terminals on the left and right, we can have right linear or left linear grammar. And in right hand side there can be many terminals and single non-terminal. Only one variable is allowed and you can have many terminals. For example, S goes to small a, capital S, small b. So on left hand side there is also exactly one non-terminal, and on right hand side there is exactly one non-terminal, and the variable or non-terminal is on the right side of terminal value, then it is right linear grammar. And also B is also acceptable because we can have any number of non-terminals value. Similarly, the second one is also right linear grammar. Third one is left linear grammar, and fourth one is not a grammar because we should have at least one. No, it is also a grammar, but it can't be described as a left linear or not linear. If we take only this part, then it is left linear. If we are removing this part and taking these three production, then it is right linear grammar. So thank you guys.